Shalom, 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 shalom alaikum to the 12 tribes. And also, shalom to the righteous Gentiles who are following after truth and righteousness. Blessings and much love to y'all. I've been enjoying you guys the discussion about Torah and just about getting back to, as Israel, who we are. You hear what I'm saying? And the importance of identity and that sort of thing. And then you have like a lot of people who they'll say, oh, why is that important? It's not important, blah, 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 blah. But we clearly know that if it wasn't important, then people would not have taken crafty counsel against the hidden ones. That's what the Torah is saying. Okay, so when I look at certain stuff, y'all, like I told y'all, when you read Torah, you must get back to who you are, right? So truth, if we look it up, we know that Yah is the representative of truth, right? And when you look up the word truth, in etymology, it means covenant, right? Solidness, foundation, and it also has tied in there faithfulness, because faith is the way you show loyalty, and it gets into other things when you come. It's immutable. It gets into different things, also Hebraically. But what I like about that truth definition, when you look it up, the etymology of it, you have to look up all words. Okay, you have to study words. This is why the Torah says study to show yourself approved, because if you, like in churchianity, we have learned to read a scripture, take it out of context, okay? We're not taught to research the backstory as to why certain things have been stated the way. This is why you have people in churchianity saying 10% go to God first. And that, give your tithes. Don't rob God. Give your tithes. Not realizing that tithing has to do with food. You're supposed to be able to eat of your tithes. And the Most High Yah was talking about setting tithes to a specific group, the Levitical group, okay? Because their portion was Yah, okay? Everybody else, they had inheritances and different things, and they being, we're shepherd people, we're agricultural people. That is our culture. It's no coincidence, okay? It's no such thing as coincidences. All things just coincide, but there's no such thing as coincidences. You just think that they arbitrarily got a group of people for no reason? No. They went and got the royal family of a group of agricultural people. We are agricultural people. Everything about the Hebraic language ties back to our culture and agricultural references. That's why if you read something like, okay, various examples of this, like, the Most High Yah refers to the battle axe, the ox knows his master, that sort of references, just a lot of different references. And a lot of things like mounting up like a nesher, things like that, right? Like that we hear in Torah, that we read in Torah. If you don't know the agricultural backstory, then you would be misquoting, misinterpreting, because you have to get back to your identity and back to your roots, which is your culture. A tree without roots is going to do what? It's going to fall over. It's going to wither. It's going to perish, right? This is why the Most High Yah tells us to study to show yourself approved. How do you do that, right? Obviously, being in the land of our captivity, we've been lied to, which means that we have to unlearn a lot of things that we've learned as a people that we thought were true. A lot of things that we thought were true were just absolutely not. And a lot of things, like you have people saying it's not important to know who you are, but there are curses attached when you don't wake up into the truth and you don't realize who you are. Give you an example. If you are Ephraite, if you are from the tribe of Ephraim, okay, we know our grandfather Joseph went through a process. He also married, in that particular sense, an Egyptian woman. We clearly know the Egyptians were into idolatrous worship of other gods. Obviously, we know Torah spiritually states, this is the Most High Yah's law that he put forth. There shall be no other gods before him. He's a jealous Elohim. So we're commanded to not worship other gods. We're commanded not to participate in idolatry. So if your forefathers, being Ephraim, they were baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven and that sort of thing, you in your life have to make sure that you are not participating in anything Queen of the Coast, Queen of Heaven related, and also repenting of those things, but making sure that you're conscious of, okay, my forefathers were doing this. And a lot of people, they don't understand the spiritual concept that is the Bible, okay? Like, I literally heard somebody say, like, it was so cringe when I heard them say it, because this is why I really dislike that people, they just speak so ignorantly when it comes to the Torah. Like, this is why you're supposed to keep your mouth, okay? Because if you're ignorant to certain things, you should not be speaking on certain things. They literally said out of their mouth that the Torah contradicts itself. And I was like, what treachery is this? Like, what treachery is this? The Torah never contradicts itself. The Most High Yah, which is Torah, which is the spirit, the breath of Yah, never contradicts itself. This is why you have to study to show yourself approved, because everything in Torah just expands on one another. This is why you constantly see, like, I don't even like the Old Testament, New Testament thing that that churchianity does, because it's just one continuation of spiritual law and things that we're supposed to get into, right? People, they take time to get into everything else that is, because, you know, there's some people say, oh, I'm not religious. I'm not, I don't do the spirituality, but they don't realize ignorantly you're saying that, but you subscribe to something, right? You just haven't researched the origin of what you subscribe to, because they get into a lot of stuff and then you break down to them, hey, you say that you're not spiritual, but the deity in which the practice of what you're currently doing right now is into what he's into. Okay, so it's kind of interesting when you talk about this with people. But I felt the need to say that, like, when you read Torah, you need to research the people, which are the Hebrew Israelites, especially Moshe, who was the righteous lawgiver that put forth what the Most High Yah wanted as laws, commandments, and principles. And it's important to, when you read Torah, to not look at it like, oh, I can't do this, this, and this, but look at it like, okay, I can do this. I'm empowered to do this. My Abba, my father, is telling me not to do this. Obviously, the creator, the father, is telling you, like any good father would, to not do certain things because he knows the origin and the backstory, as he is the creator of everything and he knows what it is going to lead to. But like stubborn children, as we do, I'm doing what I want to do, but there's consequences, right? So getting back to the identity of who we are, because you literally will have Israelite people with the ignorant comments, oh, it doesn't matter, and this, and the third, which is clearly churchianity, because it does matter, because we have people that are suffering in their everyday life because they don't know that generational curses are real, and you have to go back and repair. Like, repentance is not just you saying I'm sorry for something. It is restitution. It is realizing, like, wait a second, there's a pattern of this in the family. Obviously, there's something that has been violated. I need to take a stand against this to repair the breach, or to ask the Most High God to close the door to whatever this breach is, so that our family can go forth and we can love Yah by keeping the spiritual principles, because the enemy is the accuser of the brethren. He has taken time. He knows what the laws are, and he has taken time to learn who you are, study you, because I'll give you an example. When Balaam and all of them, they were trying to curse the Israelites, and they told them, honey, you can't curse them. Israelites is blessed. You can't curse them because they're blessed. So what did they do? We gonna get them to violate the spiritual law that says if they mess with these women or they mess with these group of people, it's gonna open up the door for the sin of sexual immorality. And then will those spirits that are waiting, that they've been over there concocting up, they've been waiting to attack Israel, those spirits then, because that law was violated, now would have the legal access to those people. The Most High Yah already blessed you. But when you get out of the will of what he said, you do this, blessings. You do this, you're going to start getting into other stuff. That is why it's important to know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, you're living like other groups of people. Other groups of people, they may not be held to the same standard as you. Okay? So you sitting there thinking you could do what they could do. And the Most High Yah has said, this is getting back to the word truth. Covenant. Covenant. What is a covenant? It is an agreement. We, as covenant people, if you are an Israelite, you are in a forever covenant with the Most High. So it's like a forever relationship, meaning that let's look at it like a husband and a wife, right? And Israel being the wife, right? If you tell your wife, like, hey, these are the parameters, y'all make a covenant agreement. This is the parameters of our marriage. This is what we're agreeing to, right? And then one party continuously violates, what do you think the husband is going to look like? He's going to be like, ma'am, you continuously violating this relationship. That is how I look at things when it comes to the relationship between Israel and the Most High. Like, marriage, kind of like covenants, the agreement for the people, and the people, being Israel, continue to commit the whoredoms that are causing these things to happen in our community. And because they're ignorant to the fact, and when I say ignorant, I'm not just saying ignorant like, I'm talking about ignorant is when you choose to ignore, because that's the root word for that. You're choosing to ignore. And then you have, like I said, you even have Israelites that are so nutty to say that it doesn't matter about the identity of the people. Well, guess what? Guess who else knew that it was important about the identity of the people? And that was the devil, knowing the importance of the people of the book, knowing who they are. Because if they don't know who they are, they will continually fall into sin, which means that they legally, spiritual law, right, can be afflicted with stuff. But if these people return to themselves, they return to the Most High Yah, they repent, the Most High Yah said he would heal our land. So anybody that is preaching anything contrary to people getting back to who they originally are, you have to side-eye that. The importance of lineage is all throughout the Torah. The Most High Yah also, because you have like certain Israelites that they are just so, I say fake spiritual, where they dismiss science and the history, the anthropology and all kind of things, And the reason that our people are mentioning everything about agriculture is science. Our people were agricultural people. When it talks about in Leviticus the certain things that you can eat and the kind of actions of the animal, it's because biology is into play. They want you to take a look at these animals and look at the design of these animals to let you know, okay, why is this not okay to eat? This is not okay to eat because this animal was designed, everything that the Most High Yah created was good. But if it is perverted, right? So a pig was meant to be a scavenger. Certain things were meant to create biologically, cleanliness and hygiene and that sort of stuff, because they're scavengers. They eat the little nasty things that we need cleaned from our environment. So you partaking of that, and what is that doing to your body on the cellular level? What is that doing to your DNA? What is certain things? And then it just behooves me, because they will say, oh, we don't need to pay attention to science. I say don't pay attention to junk science and junk science that's not real, but science that can be substantiated. And the reason that we have to pay attention to science, and like I said, everything that matches up with Torah, because like I said, our ancestors, they were more than slaves. You had people from the royal family that were taken, doctors that were taken, all kind of people that were taken. Okay, they specifically went after the upper echelons type of people. Okay, so these people, they're making note of the agricultural, scientific things about these animals. Okay, you had Noah making sure to tell you about even like the cross between certain things, right? And then, fast forward to 2020 to 2022, we have them messing with different animals and different things and different, I would say, jabs that they're creating to specifically do what the Most High Yah did not want them to do, as far as the mixing of things. So don't tell us that science and things are not coming into play. Don't tell us to ignore history. And the Torah is all of that. That's why it's just, it's such a beautiful composition, because everything that has been put in the Torah, you see prophetically has come to pass. Like, you literally see Yah's word coming to pass in the examples that he specifically left so that you can look out for. And he tells you to study, because studying provokes thought. Studying promotes maturity spiritually also, because you have to continue to grow. This is why they say ignorance of the law is no excuse for the law in court, right? There's a court in heaven where there are angels sitting there reporting things that we're doing here. And of course, that's why they call the enemy the accuser of the brethren, because he wants to accuse you in the court of heaven. That's really what it's about, right? He's doomed, okay? Jealous that we have the breath of Yah, a spirit, a soul that was given. We were made in the image of the Most High Yah. He made us to reflect himself, which means that he specifically, if you read the book of Enoch, it talks about the different things like the sciences, the metals, alchemy and different things that was taught, how to use swords, martial arts, makeup, all of that stuff. And all of that stuff that was taught to man that was not supposed to be taught to man. And then you see clearly what we're dealing with now. So you cannot be ignorant to the devices of the enemy. This is the whole purpose of me saying what I'm saying to you guys. You have to know when you are in spiritual warfare, who the players are, who you are, how they're moving on the chessboard, because the enemy has made sure that he has studied you on the chessboard. He knows what you need to violate, and this is why he comes trying to tempt, because he knows what the law is. So keep that in mind. It's very important for you to know who you are, not in a prideful sense, but to be able to accurately, war against demons and principalities and high places. Those high places are altars that have been put forth against the children of Israel. So anybody telling you anything otherwise, get them out of there.